Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. The Pink Book is out, but it's not a West Ham transfer rumour show. The reason being, we don't actually need it. We're only going to discuss two players in particular, Tammy Abraham and Jesse Lingard. But what is going on at West Ham at the minute? Because there's rumours, there's missing transfer rumours. Things are just getting a little bit silly. And I'm not going to lie. I'm getting a little bit concerned because the season starts next weekend. And I am aware there's 28 days to go to the transfer window. And I'm certain we will sign players before the window shuts. That's not my concern. My concern is having the players ready to go against Newcastle. Because the season doesn't start in 28 days time. The season starts next weekend. And by the looks of it, by the sounds of it, we're not much closer to signing any player prior to that game. And even if we did, will they be ready? Moyes is essentially going into the Newcastle game with one hand tied behind his back. It's not a good start. We had a massive opportunity this summer, huge, and we still do, to capitalise on the success of last season, which is bringing in good players, bringing in players that want to play in European football, getting a squad assembled ready for a Premier League campaign and a Europa League campaign. Now that can still happen, but it doesn't mean my concern isn't starting to increase a little bit. A few weeks ago, it didn't exist, but now it's getting there a little bit. And perhaps the reason is on the front of this book. On this book, I wrote that loans are unrealistic targets by David Sullivan. I wrote that about a year ago off the back of Gonzo doing something on the forum channel. So I wrote it to take the piss out of Gonzo. A year ago, 12 months later, it's almost taken the piss out of West Ham's transfer activity so far in summer 2021 because it almost feels like it's coming true. The joke is becoming true, or maybe the truth is becoming a joke. I'm not sure which it is, but it feels like if it's not a loan, we're not very interested. The players that we were after, that David Moyes were rumoured to have his number one targets, again, more rumours, is becoming more and more likely not to happen. There's reasons being given why we will not be signing these players. The two players in particular, Tammy Abraham and Jesse Lingard, I'm going to talk about. But is it just them? Or is there a problem at West Ham United? But before we get into that, let's talk about the one thing the Pink Book is going to guide us to tonight. The One Football app. It's telling us to download the One Football. Well, it's not really. I wrote it in the Pink Book and I'm telling you to download the One Football app. The link is in the description and the pinned comment, and it is the best football app for the football fan. Keep up to date with the latest news and transfer rumours around your club. Keep up to date with all the latest fixtures and scores as they happen around the country, and of course the stats for all the players in your squad. Not that many in the West Ham squad. When you click on the West Ham, find your favourite West Ham, and you click on the badge, you can click on the squad and see all the players registered for West Ham United in it. There's not much scrolling to do at the moment. There's more scrolling to do at the other teams in the Premier League. Let's put it like that. But get it downloaded today. It's completely free, so give it a try. Links in the description and the pinned comments. Now let's start with Jesse Lingard. The latest is Sky Sports have a quote from someone. Now all I'm going to say, I can hear a certain someone saying this. I'm not going to name names. I am not naming anyone's names, okay? But Sky Sports said there's a 10% chance of West Ham signing Jesse Lingard this summer, so not very high. And I'm not surprised. I've actually googled how many games it is, but I'll get into that in a second. And it's just a little bit unsurprising to you and me, perhaps. The vibe has been for quite a while that Jesse Lingard is in no rush. The reason, Lingard's possibly the only player I can maybe find something out about in the first team, and the reason being, I believe, is that Man United can sell Jesse Lingard in 2 days. If Man United decide today they want to sell Jesse Lingard, come Friday, he's gone. And it makes sense, doesn't it? When you think about West Ham trying to sell our players, whether it's Felipe Anderson, Andrei Yarmolenko, we almost struggle because we're trying to sell the players that nobody really wants. We're trying to get rid of high earners off the books for, even though it's a low cost, nobody particularly wants them. If West Ham were to try and sell someone like Jared Bourne, we'd be able to sell them pretty quickly. And that's essentially what Man U's situation is with Jesse Lingard. We'll leave him there. We'll deal with who we want to deal with. Sancho, Pogba. We'll deal with the incomings and outgoings, the main ones. And then we'll see what's left and what we've got to deal with. And if Jesse Lingard is one of those players, we decide to sell him on the 25th of August, he will be gone before the transfer window shuts. And I think that's the situation. Man United play 3 games, 3 Premier League games Man United play before the window shuts. And I'd imagine Jesse Lingard's going to be looking at those 3 games and saying, well, let's see if I get into all these squads and on the pitch. If he's not in any of the squads, I would expect him to want out of Man U by the end of the transfer window. However, even if he's just on the bench, he might think, well, actually, I'm in the squad now, it's progress, I'm going to fight for my place at Man United. And I have complete sympathy with him. I've seen a lot of the fan base sort of turn against Jesse a little bit in the last few days. And this is where I know it's a bit hypocritical because we talk about the rumours and stuff. But I like to think that to some extent, myself, Gons, and loads of people in the comments add a little bit of what I would call common sense. And that is that we're quite laid back, we don't bite, we dismiss a lot of the rumours and stuff. But I do think the Jesse Lingard one has a large element of truth to it. I do believe this truth that whether it's 10% or 15 or 20%, I do believe it's difficult for us to get Jesse. He perhaps doesn't want to come, and it's a case of wait and see what happens at Old Trafford. So I think that goes on, but I've seen a few people turn against him, and that's not for me really. We signed him when he was a fringe player at Man United. We put him back into the spotlight of football, if you like, got him back in the England squad, not quite for the Euros, but he got back into the England squad anyway. We got what we wanted out of the deal, which was someone to come in, impact the team, score goals, get assists. Jesse got what he wanted out of the loan deal, which was game time. And Man United got what they wanted out of the loan deal, which was Jesse to get game time, put himself back in the shop window. So everybody's a winner. But this is where the problem is when you sign someone on loan with no option to buy. We've obviously got Areola on loan, but we've got the option to buy in there. So if he is a success, we can activate it. We know how much we've got to pay for him to PSG. And the likelihood is that he would sign permanently. That is where we went wrong. I don't think the mistake was signing Jesse Lingard on loan. I don't think the mistake is making Jesse Lingard a main target in this summer. I think the mistake was not having insurance, not having that safety net, not having that option to buy. And I guess we wouldn't have got him if we tried to have it in there. Perhaps Man United wouldn't have allowed us to loan him. But I think that is where the downfall is. So if I've got any criticism, and I had it in January and I've still got it now, which is no option to buy. Perhaps maybe Man United won a little bit more than West Ham. But as for the Jesse Lingard fairy tale, and I am going to call it a fairy tale because I loved watching him play at West Ham. He was thoroughly entertaining, hugely influential on the pitch at West Ham. And yes, he had some quiet games, but I did think he was one of the best players I've seen at West Ham in a few seasons. Is he up there in my top 10 West Ham players of all time? No. But will I take him back tomorrow? In a heartbeat. Matheus Pereira, just quickly before I talk about Tammy Abraham, that one seems to be dwindling as well. He did his statement yesterday, myself and Gonzo spoke about that. The latest is the Premier League club sort of asked how much he was going to be, got told 25-30 million, they never put in an official bid. And people assumed it was West Ham United, but apparently it was Everton. So the latest rumours are that West Ham haven't even bid or even insinuated a bid for Matheus Pereira. So the rumour of him, who knows? Who knows what's going on with Pereira at the minute? But the Tammy Abraham one, like I said, the reason I believe he's Moyes' number one target is because Moyes has spoken about it himself. Moyes has never dismissed the rumours. Moyes has never once said he's not interested in Tammy Abraham. He's just said he's too expensive. And I've always taken that as managing expectations for the fan base, which is we can't afford him, but also a bit of a shot at David Sullivan, which is that's who I want, but you won't pay for him. Now, can't afford and won't pay are obviously two different things. And perhaps there is some sort of They are the same to some respects. If Sullivan could afford him and wouldn't pay for him, it's a bit different there. And I've always took it as a bit of a sign from Moyes to the board saying, well, that's who I want. And if we can't afford him, well, I don't know what to do because that is who I want. Can we get him, please? But the latest is that Tammy Abraham doesn't want to come to West Ham. He's demanding 140 grand a week. That's a lot of money, making him the highest earner at the club. I can see the sort of dilemma the club have here though, because it is an expensive transfer, £35 million roughly, big wages for him as well, and the only way it's justifiable is if he was to come in and be a huge success. He would have to score 15 plus Premier League goals every season that he was fit. He'd have to be good enough week in week out to keep Antonio out of the team in order to justify the fee and the wages, and that's a big ask because Antonio on his day, we don't call him beast mode for anything, do we? Because he does have that about him. Antonio is good enough. I've debated with plenty of people about whether Antonio is a recognised striker. I still say he is. A lot of people still say he isn't. But when I say he is, there is times where you can tell he's not a natural striker. He doesn't do the runs that perhaps Ollie Watkins does. His finishing maybe perhaps isn't quite as good as what Tony's or Brentford's is going to be next season. But I still think he's a Premier League striker. However, I think there's an upgrade there available. And I wouldn't mind seeing Antonio playing to the side of the striker at West Ham. I'm not saying sell Antonio or anything like that, but Tammy Abraham, and maybe this is why it's concerning me a little bit more. Maybe I'm a bit more disappointed than concerned, because at the start of the summer, if you said to me, who's your number one striker target, Tammy Abraham probably would have been my number one. If you said, who's your number one midfielder target, I'd have probably said Jesse Lingard. So the fact that both of them are looking less and less likely to join becomes disappointing for me. I was looking forward to seeing possibly both, or at least one, in the West Ham shirt next season. And I guess the title of the video and the thumbnail and stuff is maybe a little bit clickbaity, but you've got to do things like that to get people, haven't you? But when I say what's going on at West Ham, I have been wondering that. And I am aware it's a social media game and reading social media isn't the best thing to do, but this is possibly... Is YouTube social media? I would say it's a form of some kind of social media anyway. But it is concerning, and it isn't just a West Ham thing. I do try and remind myself it's not just a West Ham thing, because there's not been that much money spent in the Premier League compared to today 12 months ago. COVID, I think we're really seeing the true impact of COVID this summer rather than last summer, because last summer there was no fans for maybe a month. They've now had a whole season of no fans kind of thing. But not every club is in such a good position as West Ham to strengthen. Brighton don't have European football. Not every club needs to prepare from going from no European football to European football. Not many teams need to do that. Leicester City, of course, have European football next season, but they had it last season. They already know the demands, and they've added a couple of really good signings to their side as well. But they know what it takes. We don't know what it takes. We've not had that experience yet. It's been a long time since David Moyes had to manage a club in European football that plays Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, so on and so forth. It's been a long time since Moyes has managed that. And I'm a bit worried now that we are not signing the players David Moyes wants, and B, not signing the sort of plan B, plan C, whatever you want to call it, them quick enough, because plan A is still available, but just looks a little bit less likely. Anyway, I'm going to disappear now, but tomorrow night I'm doing a cup of tea with Gonzo. Tomorrow night myself and Gonzo will be having a cup of tea. It's been a long time since we've done one, so if you've got any questions for the show, keep an eye out for the community post tomorrow. It should pop up on your subscription feed. Leave your questions on that, not in this video. Leave it on this community feed, and we will, hopefully you can join us for a cuppa tomorrow night, where we discuss the transfer window and anything else going on at West Ham. I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoyed them. Like I said, it's been a while, but we've both had a lot going on in our personal lives and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to a cuppa. Hopefully you can join us. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it, subscribe to you. And to sum up the video, I guess what I'll say is, I'm just getting a little bit concerned. The season starts next weekend, and it doesn't feel like it. It almost doesn't feel like it. And I think one of the contributing factors to that is the lack of new signings. Normally there's a buzz, isn't there? You can't wait to see certain players, and I've still got that. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Ben Rama. I'm looking forward to seeing Pablo Fornals sort of in the number 10 position. I'll maybe do a video about Pablo Fornals specifically, but I'm really looking forward to Fornals next season. I'm looking forward to Rice and Souček again. Almost like a more confident Jared Bowen. But there's definitely concerns there as well. What we're going to do if Souček or Rice gets injured. What we're going to do if there's an injury to Ogbonna. Who's the number one goalkeeper? That's an exciting thing, I suppose. And development of Ben Johnson, so on and so forth. Plenty of stuff to look forward to, but one thing we can't really look forward to too much is the new signings. Where are they? What's going on?